teamwork and culture and everything. And Cam Chapman is such a great example of having a culture where he's just trying to get better. He struggled to get on the court at the same time. He just never stops. Every day is yes, coach, no, coach. Nice to see you, coach. He comes from great stock. And as a result, it couldn't have been happened to a more fitting person who was really bought in the team, despite he hasn't had a lot of personal success.
What's your view on that last play?
We could have used the timeout, and I don't like to do that when I see a flow. And I was just watching the court and see the spreading of the court. And we could have drawn something out that wouldn't have looked that pretty. I could see a nice spread for us. Derek had the ball. You don't know what's going to happen. You call a timeout, and somebody might blow up the play, and you got something else. I said, let's just roll with it. And Derek is such a good shooter, and he's gone 2 days without making any shots here. And I just had, he's got to be due. He's got to be due to make a shot. And sure enough, he drew and kicked and gave it to Cam. And I probably wouldn't have had Cam in that corner, you know what I mean? But he made the shot, and we'll take it.
He wasn't even sure it was Cam.
Yeah, he saw a guy over there, and it was beautiful. Like, Cam has made buzzer shots. Unfortunately, they were either when we were way ahead or way behind in games. But his stroke is true, and we're trying to just make it more consistent.
Derek probably should have pulled that, shouldn't he? Looked
Yeah,
like he had
I really thought he was going to shoot it, but he didn't feel it the first 2 days. I can tell when his when you watch guys shoot thousands and thousands of times, I can tell when the rotation's good, the release is good, and anytime he shoots the ball, I'm thinking it's going to go in. I didn't feel it the last 2 games, so he must have not felt it. So I'm glad he made that selection.
Unforced turnovers, how hard is it to get it back when you guys do that down the stretch and to regain your momentum and your composure?
Yeah, it was going to be difficult with that throwaway. We actually had a nice back door that was coming up when Zach threw it away. Unfortunately, he didn't read it like I think it was Mo or Mark was in there at the time. So those were tough ones for us to get back up because we were up by 4 or something. But you knew it was going to get like that. You just knew that Indiana was going to make it a game. They made a game. What was the largest lead? Was it 4 points?
5.
5 points. It was a great basketball game between 2 teams that are battling for everything right now.
Do you think your team is a tournament team right now that you should hear your name called Sunday night?
Yeah, I'll give my stock answer. Those people are so good in that room, and they really understand what they're doing. We battled a lot of adversity during the year. People don't understand when you don't know whether Karras is playing, then you think he's going to play, and we couldn't make the changes we wanted to make. So we were caught several times in a bit of a funk as to what we're going to do in the next game. Not his fault, not anybody's fault. And we had some bad losses. At the same time, as this year has gone on, we've gotten better and better and better. It didn't always show it in wins, but you go to Maryland and you play them the way that we did. Iowa, we got right back to where we wanted to go, but just had a 2-minute phase there we didn't play. We can play with a lot of teams. How many could we beat? Well, that's the 4th one. That's a top 25 team, and we've played a ton of them. So weren't good enough to beat many of those guys, but we did beat 4 of them. So let them judge that.
It certainly doesn't hurt your case, though, to beat the Big Ten champions in this setting.
Oh, no, they absolutely in Indianapolis. So if you look at our Wisconsin's anybody's game late, right, at Wisconsin, where they don't lose very much, right? And then at Maryland, anybody's game, actually leading in the second half. Today, leading in the second half, finishing it. It should certainly help.
You usually need the adversity. These guys have said a million times, like, we're going to play with a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
We're going to close a game. We're going to do this. Why was today so much different? Just the way that you guys took what they gave you and responded every time.
Yeah, it was surprising. I think our defense today, even though it was just a 45%, we really did not give them too many open looks. And that was a big difference. We shut down their 3-point game. We've watched some teams, when they were able to play with them, it was shutting down the 3-point game. Give them some of those 2s that they were getting. Give them some of the post play that they were getting, but shut down the 3-point game. I think that was a big difference in today's game.
What did you see from Wagner today? Because he hadn't scored since
Yeah.
Nebraska.
So another thing, the game is fluky, and we try to coach it. But Ricky got a little injured in the game before, so he didn't really feel good. So we ended up. So let's just go with Mo. And Mo's done that in practice some days. But he's so much energy, trying to harness that. When he took that first 3, everybody in that bench was shocked. But that's who he is. He just has great confidence, and that it was not a play for him to shoot a 3. It was a game to give space and run a ball screen. He just shoots it in, so I just smile because I think you can see what he can do down the road.
He has a green light there, though?
Say
On-
again?
on the
No, he doesn't have the green light. No, absolutely not. Right? But he decided to take it. I say you have the green light if it goes in. Right? And so that's good for a guy to have that type of thing. That, yeah, coach, I can do this. Because he did have time and space.
John, you said yesterday you were excited to see how your team would come out today. Did you know they had this in them, this type
Well,
of
you know, we
spirit?
were trying to give them as much rest as we could in between, knowing it was at 12 o'clock. You know, I let them sleep in from 7:30 to 8. I thought that was a pretty big deal. They were like, Coach, a half hour doesn't make a difference, but we wanted them just to come out, and we talked a lot about having a chip on our shoulder after they just destroyed us at our place in front of a sellout crowd on national TV. And we kept showing those scores a little bit in the clips that they'd see. It was 70-41 or something. I mean, it was bad. But the thing we tried to sell them on, Bob, is that there was a 4-5 minute play area there that was a 20-point difference, and that's all the difference there was in the game. And we were better than those 5 minutes, and they probably weren't as good as they were in that 5 minutes. Let's go play the game with a big chip on your shoulder.
Is the next stop?
We got time for a few more.
Yep.
John, with Cameron, you know, for his time here,
Yep.
and not to dwell on negative or anything like that, but like, why hasn't it clicked for him? How would you?
I think
sum
he
that
had a
up?
very young birthday coming in, so he turned 18, virtually coming in the door in summer school, and then just what he's been trying to work on is just seeing the game at a quicker spot, defense, offense, putting it all together. There's no one thing, just putting it all together, and that's. You know, there's a lot of freshmen and sophomores that do this. And right now, we all want the microwave freshman that comes in or the sophomore that's impact. You know, he reminds me a lot of like the Jordan Morgans and Stu Douglas and Zach Novaks. They were like in their sophomore year, they were just out there. And all of a sudden, in their junior and senior year, they're winning championships. So it's part of the process most players go through. We just talk so much about the guys that just get it immediately.
Is the next step for Mark in his progression making sure he takes those shots that are there to
Yeah,
him at the
he
end of
should
the
have
game?
taken a couple of those shots. And his confidence is gaining every day, you know, but he's got to continue to he's got to be, I want him to shoot the ball. If you saw the Maryland game, I want him to shoot it, but if he doesn't feel it, he doesn't want to do that. And I can't coach that. But I think in time he'll have that.
One final question from anybody?
Third game in like 55 hours, Mark. You guys have
Is that right?
legs?
55 hours.
Something. Look.
Yeah. I mean, team's going to do that. I don't see a big difference, believe it or not, between playing the third and the fourth game when the other team is playing their second and third. So Purdue or Illinois would be playing their fourth, right? Is that right? And Purdue would be playing their second.
Yeah.
So and we'd be playing our third. So that's not going to be a factor in the game. You know, we're going to have to play well. I'm probably trying to rest some guys a little bit more. I'm making myself put guys in the lineup in the first half, just get a little bit more rest.
So what time's wake up tomorrow?
I think I'm not sure yet, but it'll probably be. I think they'll be able to sleep till like 8:30 tomorrow. It's going to be huge for a college student.
They're going to tell you the half hour doesn't make a difference?
Yeah. No, I will. I'll do that.
All right, thanks everybody.